Hey guys, what's going on? SNK Gaming here. Welcome you to a discussion slash reaction video to the new Pokemon Sun and Moon trailer that just dropped yesterday. I believe it might have been the day before. I think it was yesterday though. Anyways, guys, I don't normally do videos like this because they're such commonplace that I feel like my opinion isn't really worth any more than anyone else's, and I don't normally watch other people's videos of this just because for the most part these trailers have been pretty self-explanatory. There hasn't really been anything to discuss other than saying, oh, I really like this Pokemon or I really don't like this Pokemon. There hasn't really been anything that's been like a worthwhile discussion in any of these trailers so far, at least in my opinion. I mean, you guys might think differently, but that's been my opinion of it so far. So I haven't made a video of it, but this video, or this trailer that just dropped, has been, in my opinion, the hypest trailer they have dropped for Pokemon Sun and Moon yet, and I just I couldn't resist, commenting on it and giving some of my opinions on it and some of my thoughts of what is going on in this trailer. So unfortunately I can't just record the video, or I can't just record the gameplay or the trailer and commentate while it's going on, because the Pokemon Company and Nintendo are really strict with their copyright usage. For some reason they view that as copyright infringement, and as a starting channel, I do not need a copyright strike this early on. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk, and I will input pictures of the things that I'm discussing, and we'll just kind of we'll do it like that. We'll do it like that, and we'll see how it goes. So we're going to start from the beginning of the trailer with the announcement of the new Alola region style Pokemon. Basically what that is, if you guys haven't watched the trailer, it's where some Gen 1 Pokemon are actually getting revamped in the Alola region with Lola Forms, and I'm 100% for this. Like, this is probably the coolest thing Pokemon has done since Mega Evolution. Like, that is the coolest thing ever. Executor looks like freaking awesome. I really like the long neck, and people are saying like, oh, well, that's been canon since Gen 1. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't feel like one poster showing Executor, which is a palm tree with a super long neck, really suggests that this has been a canon idea from Gen 1. I feel like that might just be like some artist for Game Freak or something drew a palm tree Pokemon with a really long neck just for something in Gen 1. And then maybe they drew from that, but I don't think it was intentionally like suggested in Gen 1, because I don't feel they would have waited this long to do it, and I don't feel like just one instance of that is enough to say they've had this idea since Gen 1. I really like the Grass Dragon typing. I don't like that it's quad weak to Ice, but Grass Dragon, that's really cool. That's our first Grass Dragon type yet, which will be super awesome. Again, that quad ice weakness is kind of iffy, but I mean, most dragons have a quad ice weakness, so I mean, nothing new there. Frisk could be a better ability, but honestly, I kind of see this mon as a defensive mon, because Executor is already kind of defensive. So maybe he'll get a defense boost or a special defense boost, and Frisk will actually be a decent ability, because then you can scout for items and stuff like that. So I mean, that'll be really cool. But I really like the design of this. I really like that they introduced the long neck. I think that's super cool. Next up we have Vulpix and Ninetales. They actually got Alola region forms as well. Both of them, as you can see, are ice types now. They're blue, which is super cool. I'm not sure, someone on Twitter actually mentioned this. I'm not sure how you go about getting them, like, because they haven't stated how they transform or anything. I mean, Executor, it kind of doesn't seem like it's going to be that hard to do, because his neck just grows longer and he gains a new typing. But Vulpix and Ninetales, because you evolve Vulpix with a Firestone, so would you have to do something like Glaceon and go near like a Ice Rock or something in order to evolve Vulpix now? Because I mean, now we're just getting into things where like the evolutionary line is becoming complicated with this new Alola form typing. So I'm not sure what their game plan is with that, but I'm excited to see what they plan on doing, especially because Ninetales is Ice Fairy now. That quad steel weakness is kind of is kind of iffy. But I mean, Ice Fairy, that's our first Ice Fairy typing, I believe. Yes, I am right on that, I do believe. Which would be really, really cool. I mean, that's a really cool typing, and I'm really glad that they're starting to get some really cool funky typings with this, and it wasn't just pure ice or you know, ice ground or something that we've already had. Like, I'm glad that they're introducing some new typings with this. Next up we have Sandshrew and Sandslash, which in my opinion is the coolest Alola form typing, Alola form transformation. I really think Sandslash looks insanely cool. And of course they do, following with this Alola form trend, have a quad weakness, theirs being fire and ground actually. Wow, they have 2 quad weaknesses. Ugh. As if Sandslash wasn't bad enough, but I really do think they look really, really cool, and maybe they'll be competitive. I don't know. I mean, having 2 quad weaknesses doesn't bode well for being competitive, but you know, I mean, maybe they'll get some super cool new move that's super cool and awesome. I don't know. But I really, really, really like this Alola form thing that's going on. I hope they introduce it to more Gen 1 Pokemon, and I hope they introduce it to other Pokemon from other generations as well. I hope it's not just Gen 1 Pokemon. I hope they, you know, maybe we can get a new form of something that doesn't have another evolution. Like, maybe we'll get another Dunsparce form or something, because there has been the theory that the Dragon Pokemon that they released in the last trailer is actually an evolution of Dunsparce, but I don't really see that. I don't think there's enough of a connection between them. But it'd be really cool if Dunsparce were to get an Alola form that, you know, made him actually somewhat viable in the competitive game. That would be super cool, and you know, it would influence some, or bring some new life into the competitive format, because you know, I mean, it would give a chance. It will give Pokemon who normally aren't that good a chance to shine. So next up we have the new Pokemon that were released in this trailer, which were a decent amount actually. Like, I think we have, well, 1, because it's kind of different forms, 2, 3, which I mean, not bad. 4 or 5 actually, 6. Oh my God, I just miscounted so hard. Excuse me. So we have Oricorio. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. I really, really like this thing. I really like the whole idea behind it, the kind of like hula dancer and everything like that kind of design that it has going on. I'm super excited to have another ghost flying type. I'm glad Drifloon's not going to be our only type, our only one anymore. I think Drifloon's ghost flying. I think that's a thing. I might be wrong on that. Excuse me if I am. But I'm glad we have a ghost flying type. Psychic flying is going to be super cool. Sigilif won't be the only one there, as long, or with Xatu as well. Electric flying will be super cool, and fire flying, they just look super awesome. Like, the designs look awesome. The ability, Dancer, holy crap. Hold up, Game Freak. Are you really making Quiver Dance, Dragon Dance, and Swords Dance like a negative now? Because Dancer, the ability, if you guys don't know, like if you haven't watched a trailer or you didn't catch that part, Dancer copies any dance move. Like, so, and it shows in the video, it showed, Vivillon, I believe it was, using Quiver Dance. And then, Oricorio used Quiver Dance because of its ability. Like, that's incredible. It makes it to where your opponent can't set up on you. Because if you can predict what kind of, if they're going to bring Swords Dance or D-Dance or Quiver Dance, you can EV and innate, you can, oh my God, I'm at a loss for words here. It's just so overwhelmingly cool. Like, you can just build your Oricorio based on whether or not you want it to be a physical or special attacker, and then you can counter that Quiver Dance or that Swords Dance or that D-Dance. Like, that is incredible. And since it's an ability and not a move, you can run him or her Choice Scarf or Choice Specs to capitalize on that. You can switch in on the Quiver Dance or the Swords Dance or the D-Dance, and you are not locked into that. You can then use the extra speed of your Choice Scarf or the extra power of your Choice Specs to now deal extra damage and be faster. You know, like, that's just actually incredible. Like, the fact that they thought of that, and the fact that they decided to introduce that into the metagame, like, this thing is definitely going to be competitive, even if its stats aren't that good. Just the fact that it can copy things like that, makes Quiver Dancing Vivillon not that much of a threat anymore. Swords Dancing Haxorus, you know, D-Dancing Dragons, like, it makes them afraid to D-Dance up and Swords Dance up. Like, that is so cool. Like, I'm so glad that they decided to introduce that. And Revelation Dance just copies whatever typing it is, so it'll be Fire, Electric, Psychic, Ghost, and that seems pretty cool too. They didn't really show too much of that, but I'm excited to see that once the game comes out. And the next new mon they introduced was Minior, which is a rock flying type. So interesting typing. It kind of neutralizes that rock weakness. It actually kind of neutralizes the ice weakness as well, with the rock typing. But I'm really excited about this mon because we finally get, in my opinion at least, I'm not sure if this is true or not, it gives me the connection to Solrock and Lunatone that everyone has been looking for since they announced Sun and Moon. Everyone, since Sun and Moon came out and the logos were revealed, we were like, wow, where's the connection to Solrock and Lunatone? Like, we weren't sure if it was true or not, it might have just been like a nice idea, but this finally gives us somewhat of a connection, because while the initial appearance doesn't look anything like Solrock or Lunatone, except for the rock typing, and there we go, there's another connection. When he gets hit by an attack, his ability Shields Down activates, and he sheds his outer layer to reveal a core that comes in 4 different typings, I believe, or 4 different colors, I believe. I don't know if there's anything correlating to that. They didn't really show anything about that, but it looks like Solrock to an extent, and the cute little eyes. Like, this thing is so cute. Like, oh my goodness, it is so adorable. But we don't know much about this thing other than its typing, what it looks like, and its ability. But it does suggest that there's a connection between Solrock and Lunatone, which could hint to potential Mega Evolutions, which we will talk about later on in this video. The next new Pokemon we had up was Gumshoes, which is the evolved form of... oh, I forget his name. The Donald Trump looking little weasel. I am so sorry. I probably should look that up. I mean, we all saw this coming. We all knew it was going to get an evolution because it looked like just a generic Route 1 or Route 2 Pokemon. Nothing too surprising here. I'm not too interested in this Pokemon. I don't think it looks that cool. It just looks like Donald Trump, which I really don't want on my team. I don't want Donald on my team. Strong Jaws will be a decent ability, though, especially because it does look like it has a lot of bite attacks. So I'm definitely excited to see how it works in the competitive field, but I'm probably not going to use it too much unless they release it and it's just like mad batshit crazy awesome. I probably won't use it. The next 2 mods that we have are Fomantis and Laurentius. I'm really actually excited about this. Now, they are just pure grass types, so nothing, too surprising there. They do have the Leaf Guard ability, so nothing too special there. But I really, really like Laurentius's design. It kind of looks like a Mega Scizor mixed with a Leavanny type thing with a little bit of Florges in there with the pink. I'm surprised they didn't put Fairy typing on this. Honestly, I'm surprised they didn't make a Grass Fairy. I mean, that would have continued the quad weakness trend we had going on, but nothing too special going on until you see its special move, Solar Blade, which looks absolutely incredible. Now, it could go along with the Solar Beam style attack where you have to charge it the first turn and then the second turn it uses, which it does look like it is that kind of move because it looks like it has a huge base attack, or a huge base stat, because like it just, a blade from the sun comes down and then smashes down your opponent. So it probably is a charge move, which will mean that Laurentius will probably be run with a power herb. But I mean, that's still just super awesome. Like, I'm really excited about this. I wish the typing was a little cooler or the ability was a little cooler, but we don't know what the hidden ability will be. And this could just be the second stage of the evolution. We don't know. I mean, it looks like a final evolution form, but for all we know, it could only be stage 2 or stage 1, basic and stage 1. So, I mean, we'll have to see. But either way, I think this is going to be a part of my team just because it looks so cool, and Solar Blade just looks like an awesome move. Next up, we have Bray, which is the pre-evolution of the horse that we got in the first one. I don't remember his name. I wasn't too stoked about him. People are saying he's going to be really, really good and really, really competitive, but I don't like his design that much. I think we have enough horse Pokemon. So, I'm not too thrilled about this, but that's just my opinion. If you guys like it, good on you. You know, I mean, Pokemon is Pokemon. You know, I think some Pokemon that people love are stupid, and people think that some Pokemon that I love are stupid, and that's just how Pokemon works. But yeah, I mean, he seems all right. You know, the evolution line seems all right, but I'm not a big fan of it. But that's not to say it's bad. I just don't. There's nothing that's like, wow, that's so cool. Like, I want that. Yeah. You know, like, it's just like, oh, I mean, that's all right. Next up, we have the Ride Pokemon, which they are bringing back for the second game in a row. They had it in XY, where you could ride the Go-Goats and the Rhyhorns, and then they had it in ORAS too, where you could ride Sharpedos. I'm hoping that this will be the end of HMs. Between being able to ride your Latios or Latias in ORAS and being able to ride Sharpedo, I'm hoping that maybe they'll get rid of HMs, because HMs are just such a pain. It's just so frustrating when you have to teach one of your Pokemon an HM. You have to have an HM slave. You know, Gen 3 was the worst because having to be an HM slave, because I think there were 7 HMs or 8. You know, like, there's so many now. It's just ridiculous. I feel like you should just be able to go next to the water and, you know, maybe not an Eon Flute thing, but like just ride a Sharpedo, a Mega Sharpedo, you know, if you have one. I understand it's a little bit of a stretch to suggest that it won't be a thing, especially with the amount of water on this, and you would have to have Sharpedo in your team or be able to call it, and it's complicated, but I feel like it wouldn't be that hard to do, and I feel like it would be a great step forward for Pokemon. I feel like that would be a great thing to get rid of HMs, just because no one's like, oh my god, I love HMs, and you can keep the moves, but just don't make them HMs. You know, don't make them to where you can't forget them, because we all remember Gen 2 when you picked Cyndaquil and you had to teach him Cut because you couldn't catch a Bellsprout, or you didn't think to catch a Bellsprout and you needed Cut, and that was the worst thing of your childhood, you know. And that's where we're at with HMs now. You can forget them, but it's later on in the game, and it's just so frustrating. And they've already admitted that they're going to have Ride Pokemon. They showed it. So why not just get rid of HMs, you know? Next up, in the last part of the trailer, they did show that the new mechanic that seems to be behind the gyms is an island challenge type thing, where you go to the island, and on each island there is one person that you have to talk to who seems to be like the leader of the island, and they give you, it looks like they're going to give you a task. Like, one of them said you needed to find 4 ingredients. Another said there looked to be splashing over there. I bet that was a strong Pokemon. So it seems kind of like they're adding in more of an RPG style element with like a side quest that leads you to the main quest type thing to get to the leader. Like, you don't just go and go, I want to battle you after you battled some trainers. Like, you have to go finish a little side quest and then get there. At least that's the thing that I picked up from it, especially with the ingredients, because that doesn't look like something that you can just like brush over. You know, it doesn't look like that was just part of their generic dialogue. Like, it looked like something that you actually needed to do and you needed to go complete before you could battle them. Which I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I appreciate Pokemon trying to bring more of an RPG style aspect, like more of a Fallout side quest type thing going to it, but that's just not Pokemon. And I know that I hate when people say, well, that's not Pokemon, when Game Freak tries to switch things up, because new things need to be introduced. If they just keep rehashing the same old formula, eventually the game will get old. You know, like, people have already said Pokemon's old. People have already quit playing because it's old. People only play competitive now because the main story's old. So I appreciate them trying to revamp it, and I can't really give an honest opinion on it right now because I don't know much we don't know anything about it. All I noticed was in the dialogue it said you had to look for ingredients, and that gave me the idea of having to do like a Zelda style thing where you have to go complete a mini side quest before you can battle them, which, I mean, I would be okay with as long as it isn't too lengthy. You know, as long as it's not like a 30-minute process, which I don't think it will be because it is Pokemon and it is more of a children's game than Zelda or Fallout and stuff like that. So I don't see them making it too difficult, but or too, you know, time consuming, but I'm interested to see where it goes, or if it's even a thing. It might not even be a thing. That could have just been some standard dialogue thing that was, you know, just, you know, I'm looking too far into. That could very well be a thing, but I'm interested to see what they do with that. So anyways, you challenge the island Pokemon, and then you move up to battle the Totem Pokemon. Which in the gameplay or in the trailer they showed a Totem Gumshoe, and they get a stat boost. It seems like, which in this trailer was Gumshoe getting a defense boost, and they can also call in allies, which seems okay. You know, I mean, it seems weird to me that you have to battle a Pokemon to move on and not like a trainer. But I mean, that seems pretty cool because it kind of goes with the like whole Hawaiian theme where like they have Guardians of the Islands and stuff. Like that's kind of what I'm getting, the vibe I'm getting from that, which seems pretty cool to me. I'm excited for that. And you know, that just, it seems like the next step in the Hawaiian theme that they were taking. And then after you beat the Totem Pokemon, you beat the Kahunas, which is the main leader of the island. Kale, I believe was his name, the big guy that we all saw in the first trailer. He is one of the leaders of the islands, and so you battled them, and that's how you beat the island. And there are 4 of each, 4 island challenges, 4 Totem Pokemon, and then 4 Kahunas, one for each island. And that seems to me like an Orange League style thing, where it wasn't really gyms. It was more of just like leader type things, like not gym leaders, but just kind of like people that you needed to beat in order to move on. And that to me seems really, really cool. I've wanted an Orange League style game since Gen 2 and Orange League was introduced. I thought that was the coolest thing. I wanted it to be like a crystal type thing where you beat the main region and then you go to the Orange League. But I mean, this seems really, really cool, honestly. Like, this seems like they're moving away from gyms, which, yeah, it's sad. It's not Pokemon. It's not the same thing that we've had, but it is a step in a new direction, which we can't, especially with the amount of information we have right now, because they didn't say that gyms weren't there. You know, like, this could be in addition to gyms. They could be gyms and they just didn't show the gym. Like, you know, we don't know, and we can't say that that's bad because A, we don't know, and B, we haven't done it. You know, you haven't played it. Just looking at it is different than playing it. But I do agree, it is weird. It is a shift from the Pokemon that we know and we hold dear to ourselves, our hearts and everything. And, you know, I saw it and my first reaction was, no, we're not having gyms. What is this? This is bad. But then I was like, Spencer, wait a second. Think about it. This is a new step for Pokemon. This could revamp the games, bring back the people who left because of the stale formula, and move Pokemon in a direction to where it can continue for years longer than it would have if it had just been rehashing the same formula. So I'm going to give it a chance. It seems pretty cool to me. Like, again, it seems like an Orange League type thing, which I'm fine with. That seems pretty cool. And we'll just have to see where they go with it. The last thing that was introduced to the trailer is one of the biggest things that I want to talk about in this video. It's the Z moves, which if you guys didn't see the trailer, it's basically your trainer does a specific motion that synchronizes with your Pokemon, and they use like an enhanced attack. Like, it showed Rowlet using Bloom Destruction or Bloom Doom or something like that. And it's an attack for each typing. So each typing has its own attack. They showed Litleo or Puplio using a water type attack. They showed Litten using an attack. So I mean, it seems cool. It seems like a really cool thing. It seems like it's gonna add a new style to the metagame because you'll have to counter that on top of everything else. The thing that I have, what's the word, reservations or concerns about is it seems like they're doing away with megas, and I don't, again, it hasn't been confirmed. They have not said we're not doing mega evolutions for Sun and Moon. There's been no real evidence of that happening, but A, the fact that they've released so many Pokemon so far and there haven't been mega evolutions. B, the fact that they now have Alola Forms and they haven't released any more Mega Evolutions. And C, the Z moves. Because that, to me, it's a once per battle thing, just like Mega Evolution. So, that seems to me like where the Mega Evolution button is on the bottom screen of your DS, that's going to be a Z move thing. So that makes me question if it's for every typing, every Pokemon can get a Z move. So, are you going to have a Mega Evolution button and a Z move button? Which, I mean, I guess wouldn't be that difficult to do, but it just seems like it's too much. Like, then you have Mega Pokemon using this Z move, and that just becomes too powerful. Like, it would be like every Mega Evolution would now be bumped up to Ubers, because they get the stat boost and they get this super powerful attack. So that just seems problematic to me. But on the other hand, I was talking to my friend and I was like, yeah, it seems like they're getting rid of Mega Evolutions, and he straight up was like, I don't think they're doing that. I think Z moves are going to be like Mega Evolutions, to where you have to have an item to use them. And that got me thinking. I was like, that makes a lot of sense, because you're syncing with your trainer just like Mega Evolution. They've already shown that there's a new bracelet stone thing going on, so it makes sense that if you want your Pokemon to use a Z move, you have to give them a special stone or a special item to use it. Like, they unlock some kind of hidden power within them, that kind of like Mega Evolution, and use that attack. Which would also suggest why in the trailer they only showed Pikachu and then the 3 new starters using it, because they don't have Mega Evolutions. So that got me thinking, to where we're still going to have Mega Evolutions, but we're also going to have this new group of Pokemon, which in my opinion, I think it might be Pokemon that can't Mega Evolve. Like, just Pokemon that can't Mega Evolve. Like, the Pokemon who Mega Evolve can't do it. Like, if Metagross cannot use this move, but it would also make sense to where if you don't have a Metagrossite on Metagross, he can use it as well. But you get 1 Mega Evolution per battle, and then you get 1 Z move per battle, and that would be super cool. It would bring a new level to the meta, and it would just really, again, like, along with the Alola Forms, give Pokemon that up until this point have either been underwhelming or have had problems with their stats, or their move pool or their ability, a chance to shine. It would give them something that they can do to become competitive and become good. And I really, really like that. And I feel like with that information, that my friend and I talked about, I feel like Mega Evolution will still be a thing, and Z moves will kind of run parallel with them. It'll be like the same basic concept, but with Pokemon that don't Mega Evolve. And I really hope they keep Mega Evolutions. People are saying, oh, well, Mega Evolutions, like, unbalanced the meta game, and they really didn't. They unbalanced them for a second until we realized which ones needed to be in Ubers and which ones belonged in OU. We realized which ones belonged in draft format and which ones didn't. They unbalanced the format for all of about a month, and then we figured it out. We got it together, we got our stuff together, and then we moved on. And now I think this is a very balanced metagame. Yes, you have things that, are overpowered, like Mega Sableye, who doesn't really have very many counters. You have Pokemon like Mega Medicham and Mega Lopunny, who are, OP as mess, but there are answers to them. And you can't say that makes it an unbalanced metagame because of just a few things that really aren't that big of an issue. Because Mega Sableye, yeah, you can't really hit it that hard, but it can't really hit you that hard either, and there are answers to it. Mega Lopunny, yes, it's a threat along with Mega Medicham, but there are answers to it. For example, Mega Sableye walls Mega Medicham for the most part. So, I mean, I feel like this is a pretty balanced metagame, so I feel like taking away Mega Evolutions would completely unbalance the game, especially with these Z moves being introduced, because they don't have anything to counteract them and counterbalance them. Z moves would just run train through the metagame without any Mega Pokemon. So yeah, guys, that is my opinion and my discussion about the new trailer. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed my thoughts and what I felt was good about the trailer and what was bad about it. What I feel like this means for Sun and Moon and as a whole. If you guys want to leave your opinions, go ahead and drop that down in the comments. I will reply to every one of them if I can. I probably can. And just tell me what you guys think. Tell me, oh, Spencer, I think, the Alola Pokemon are stupid. I think those Alola Forms are dumb. Bray is cool. He will be competitive. Like, go ahead and say that. I'm not going to bash your opinion. That is your valid opinion. And I will comment on it, and I will state why I don't think that or why I think that. But I welcome open discussion. So if you guys want to leave that down in the comments, go ahead. And if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and smash that like button, because your support is always always appreciated. I really appreciate when you guys leave a like. But thank you guys again for checking out this video, and check out the channel if you haven't already. There's tons of cool stuff over there. But I am going to get out of here, guys, and I will see you all next time.